understanding is speed. Danger? Looks pretty dangerous. I don't think I'd want to be driving one of those boats.
But I don't know if I would like to drive one of these, the turbine boats.
They're searching for something, and I think they're finding it out in the water.
It's a very personal thing. It's a personal challenge to yourself. People ask me, are you afraid to drive boats? And I answer them, yes, I am. But it's the fear that breeds the respect.
I guess it would be like taking a dive in a 707. I hope I never experience that, but not that type of factor.
I could liken it to hanging on the side of a glacier at 20,000 feet of McKinley or something. I mean, there's just no feeling like it in the world. You don't have any time to think, you just do.
You know, your adrenaline really gets pumped up when you hit the old starter button and you can hear the turbine fire up behind you and feel 3,000 horsepower just trying to go somewhere to the moon or wherever it wants to go. But to be in command of something like that, you know, it makes you feel, oh, it's exciting. I really can't say anything other than that.
So ride along with Jim Kropfeld. Feel the vibration in your bones, the exhilaration in your heart, the fear in your belly. Suddenly, you control 20 times the horsepower of your family car. But the road you're driving is bumpy and wet, and the speedometer is reaching for 200 miles per hour. If you're Jim Kropfeld, this is a sport of delicious danger.
It was also a lonely type feeling. When you're out there, you know, you have no one to ask a question to if you have a problem. You can't ask for advice. You just have to think everything out yourself.
So what are the dimensions of speed? How fast is too fast? Where is the boundary line of the outer limits? Where? Look behind a hydroplane. That's where you'll find it. With his new experimental turbine tuned to racing form, Bernie Little begins the new campaign. The season opens in Miami, and tensions are high. A turbine hydroplane has never won on the ocean. The splash of salt spray causes a turbine to overheat, a problem Bernie Little's team has addressed with an experimental air intake system. But when Miss Budweiser qualifies in Miami at more than 122 miles per hour, an average lap speed only 4 miles per hour less than the 1982 record, optimism runs high. And in the racing heats, pilot Jim Kropfeld runs fast. Bernie Little's team is triumphant. The season begins with victory.
Fantastic. I mean, Miami's my home.
But 4 months, 10 races, and thousands of miles later, when Miss Budweiser arrives for the season finale on Lake Mead behind the mighty Hoover Dam, the prospects for an overall championship are as bleak as the weather. Like any experiment, the new hydroplane had sometimes performed imperfectly. The result? The Miller American, another turbine, now held the season-long points lead. Word of the impending shootout between the two fastest boats in the world has spread through Nevada like rumors of a silver strike. But under Sunday's steady winds, Lake Mead has turned mean, a minefield of moving potholes. The risks are high, the stakes higher.
They want the national championship, and all he needs to do is just finish like he is. If he gets 3 seconds, and well, if I'd get 3 firsts, I'd win, but that's pretty hard to do.
3 firsts in 3 heats? It's an almost impossible task. But in heat number 1, Kropfeld takes command. Miss Budweiser flies into the lead, bouncing and skipping on the choppy surface. Kropfeld pushing her so close to airborne that Bernie Little voices concern.
Slow down, Croppy.
But Kropfeld speeds on until, exceeding 150 miles per hour, he almost flips. The lake has issued a warning. Too fast is too dangerous. But what happens if he doesn't go fast enough? On the final turn, Kropfeld finds out.
Did you see that? He clear lost it totally. That's from running slow. Come on, Jim.
Amazingly, he recovers and speeds on to claim victory.
All right.
The celebration is brief. Stiffening winds and mounting fears force a postponement. The drama will stretch to Monday for the final 2 heats.
Thanks, Steve.
Monday is clear, offering the prospect of outer limit speeds. Heat 2. Kropfeld throttles his boat into an early lead, commanding the outside lane as if answering the distant cries of Bernie Little.
Go for him!
Skimming over the surface, Kropfeld leaves his troublesome challenger, the Miller American, in the distant wash of his soaring rooster tail. For Little and Kropfeld, a loss in this heat, even second place, means a loss of the season championship. Kropfeld accelerates as if he's on a moon launch, and for a terrifying instant, it seems he is. But he regains control, riding 3,000 horses like a cowboy who tames a single bucking bronco, and then easily brings her home. Heat 3. The spoiler is the boat called 7-Eleven, with the talented and aggressive Steve Reynolds at the wheel. A perfect start.
Go, Crappie, baby!
Kropfeld surges forward, but 7-Eleven's pursuit is unrelenting. Ahead, turn 1. Miss Budweiser, holding the required lead, accelerates for the inside lane. Reynolds also races for the inside. Then the boats collide.
Crappie! Oh, my God! Come on, Jim! Hell, 7-Eleven was right inside of us.
Amazingly, a crash that could have caused death has only caused repairable damage.
Oh, the 7-Eleven tail is off.
As Steve Reynolds limps around the course, a relieved Bernie Little begins to taste the impossible victory.
One more lap here.
Kropfeld responds. The pace setter through the final turn, he is untouchable as they make the dash for the finish line and the checkered flag. Bernie Little's passion, Jim Kropfeld's talent, a team's dedication. These are the qualities of champions.
World and national champions.
So Bernie Little can rejoice, not just because he won a single race or a season-long title, not just because he was faster and safer, but because his formula worked again. Struggle, persevere, try harder than the other guy. That's the magic of Bernie Little.
What a way to go.
I don't even know because I was so nervous.
To work for him, I have no problems whatsoever. Bernie gives me his yacht here, the Miss Budweiser, and turns me loose with it. And, you know, $1 million investment, that makes me feel proud that somebody trusts me with something like that. I can go out and do with it what I want on the race course, win, lose, or draw. If we have a good time and we put on a good show. And
He's one of the biggest men I've ever known. We race in Syracuse, New York, where they have the famous Hyde's hot dogs. And there was an interviewer there one time that was asking one of the drivers, have you seen everything about Syracuse, you know, the world-famous Hyde hot dogs? And the driver turned back and said, there's only one hot dog in town, that's Bernie Little.
Second place is just not there. It's just not in my life for third place. I've always said to my driver, if you break this boat or this engine, you be sure to be out in front. I don't mind splitting an engine or whatever, as long as we're out in front. I'd hate to do that in fourth place. And we've never had that trouble. All of my drivers, all my crew, we're running to win. We'll either be first or last, because we'll either win or break it.